Hello and welcome to Tennessee Valley this morning on WTMB. Joe and Kim Palo with you. It is Hump Day, middle of the week.
What day is it?
Wednesday.
What day?
Hump Day.
Oh,
Hump Day.
oh,
What
oh.
day? What day?
I'm just glad, and I want to say thank you. I was just talking about wanting to steal that shirt from you, and you didn't say anything about wanting to wear my dress. And every time he doesn't say
I
that,
don't because I don't ask. I just
know.
take it.
I catch you
If
in him a
want
lot,
it,
but I
take
was just thankful that he didn't say, well, I want to wear that dress. Because,
Right, exactly. I just told her that this would probably be too small for her to wear.
And so then,
I
thump on the nose when we get away from here.
But yeah, so but you look very nice today.
Thank you.
And you looked very nice yesterday.
Well,
You
thank
helped
you.
Michelle with the show.
I did.
It was a very good show.
It was a
about
very
the
good show.
Alzheimer's Association.
You know, it had touched, and kind of at the same time, Michelle's battle or her situation with her dad was not a lengthy one,
Right.
and to where we went for about 10 years with Dad, I guess. And so we shared a lot in common just with our dads and being daddy's girls and all of that with the realization of Alzheimer's or dementia being affected into our lives.
Well, this is what I'd like to do. I'd like to one day do another show about that, and just have a bunch of different guests. And the only thing is to see how many people can say that word correctly. That's the only thing. Just an hour show of and I'll bet you less than half.
Well,
probably.
no, and especially, right, and we're in Tennessee. So there's
All-timers,
a lot of
old-timers.
All-timers and old-timers.
What else? There's a bunch like that. But it's Alz, as A-L-Z, Alzheimer. Alzheimer's.
Joe's got it correct today.
I do have it
ladies and
correct.
He finally
and there'll
got
be
it
a
right.
test later on.
That's right. I think you can even spell it now, can't you?
A-L-Z-H-E-I-M-E-R-S.
Look at this one here.
I mean, like a vice.
I'm telling you.
Huh? Alzheimer's.
So am I.
So, yeah. And, but yes, it was a very good show. Of course, you had our good buddy Mark Grissom and Cindy Lowry on.
Right,
and
the
they did
past
the
weekend
Whoop
they had done the big radio.
7-hour marathon?
Yes, and raised over $15,000 for Alzheimer's, and it was a great time, and they're going to do it again next year. So good.
And
good
the
for them.
wonderful thing more than anything is because I think it was a 26, and I'm sure there was some levity in the 26, 27 hours, but it's one of the first times you're ever going to be able to see Grissom on a serious side. Because usually he's always just, but
well,
very
it touched
serious.
his life
Yes,
at the same time with his mom that we were going through it with Dad as well. And so I think there's been in fact, one of our guests that we have today, Mr. Dwight Richardson, is in the house from Fenimore's Floral Design Studio, and it touched his wife's family, but which is very much a part of his own family up there. So, but
and I think Dwight may have a little touch of it himself.
I just think he's been touched. He's just been touched by what we don't know. But he's just been touched in the head. So there we go. But we've known him long enough to say that.
Yes, we have.
We also have Linda Heisey in the house.
Yes.
Heisey
Like in the drink.
But you don't spell it that way. But Linda Heisey, she's here with Blood Assurance, and we always love to have them here and to talk about the different drives and that they have been going on because they always need our blood. So we're going to talk to Linda.
Well, and we'll talk about the serious side of that, but then we also want to get some insight on how everyone there is able to work with Jay Bumgardner at all. You know what I'm saying? And so we'll find out about what the secret to that is as well. But yeah, we've got a great show, and of course Ron Moore.
Right, Ron.
We don't forget Ron Moore, who is our resident Bradley County historian.
Right. We know a lot of you out there are on pins and needles just waiting for Ron. The only reason that you watch us, and I wouldn't watch us either, but the reason that you do is because you know that Ron's going to be
because he really makes some good stuff up, doesn't he?
They want to hear about it, and that and that's great with Ron, because if he doesn't know it, he'll make it up, and he can tell a story.
But really,
Dwight can tell a story too.
Oh yeah, Dwight's a storyteller.
Yes.
But and when you think about it, there's a lot of history in our area that many of us do not know. Some of us may know some of it, but there's so much in this area between the Cherokee Indians and the
Civil War.
Civil
I mean,
War.
so many things right in this area. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable.
It's amazing. There's history that's gone on here.
There be some history around her.
That's right. Things
And Ron
happened
and
before
Debbie
we
know
got here. And so Ron knows it, and we're excited to bring it to you today because it is always interesting.
Yes. And so what else?
We're not going to talk about it.
We're not going to talk about, you're right. We're not going to talk about that. But what else are we going to talk about then?
Well, then I guess
we both know what we're not going to talk about.
We're not going to talk about it. I talked about it yesterday.
I know you did,
I know,
and I had to turn the volume down, so I didn't hear much of what you were.
I talked about it yesterday, and it was sad time in the house.
It was not just sad. It was very.
It was happy.
At the very beginning.
It was a happy first half.
Again, we said we weren't going to talk about it, so we're dropping it.
But then it got really
Figure out what we're talking about. You know. But anyway, so we've got, we talked about a great show that's going to be, and let's don't forget this. This is Wednesday, so tomorrow night obviously is Halloween, big block party night. And we will be broadcasting live, as we usually do, from the block party from 7 till 10.
Right. And we are right there on the corner of the courthouse that's right across the street from Stampers and the post office. We're right there on that corner. So if you guys are out and about tomorrow night, come by and see us and have a word with Joe, because Joe stands there and talks about absolutely nothing for 3 hours.
3 hours, and this is the gist of exactly what it's going to be. Hi, what's your name? What are you? What school you go to? You want to give a shout out to anybody? Hi, what are you? What's your name? What school you go to? You want to give a shout out to
I hope the lady with the duck, the lady that has the pet duck. The lady with the pet duck is always at the block party, and when she comes over, that is just the cutest thing to me. I can't stand it. I got her name last year, and I misplaced it, but we were going to have her on the morning show because not many people have a pet duck. Now, that's all there is to it.
Now, we have to keep the pet duck, and our friend Dre from the fire department, who's my buddy, who has the albino berm that brings in. He's had it since it was a baby. Snake, so we got to, and it's big now. It's about 14 foot, I think, 13, 14 foot.
Might be wanting a little duck.
So we got to keep so we got to keep the duck away from Dre, because if not, the duck's name after that will either be breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You can choose one of the three. But yeah, so but a lot of fun for everybody out there, as it always has been. And then of course, the most wonderful thing about it is a few hours after it gets started, is to get in touch with Mayor Tom and get his estimate of what the crowd is. And with Mayor Tom, it can be anywhere from 20,000 to 120,000.
Right.
He'll give his estimate, and it's usually pretty close. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Of course, Treat Street with M&M Mars giving out all the candy and all the vendors that are there, and the fun and the bands and us.
Well, right, and we're right there, and we're right across from the karaoke stage
a lot of fun.
Too, and that just tickles me every year, because there's just no limit to what people can think they can sing. I mean, and they get up there and do it quite loudly.
And I'm glad you're being honest about that, because there's another honest thing we want to throw out there. Parents, I'm sorry, kids, get mad at me, but check your kids before they go out and what they're wearing.
Yes, please do.
All right.
Young
For some reason,
don't all need to be prostitutes.
All the young girls want to be prostitutes, and all the young men want to be dressed as women. I can't figure it all out.
I mean, that 12 to 16 age, it's amazing how they get out. I don't know how they do. Now, I know how I got out of the house when I wanted to do that, but come on, it was just wearing a pair of shorts. It wasn't like, going like a
heathen.
I know. We weren't, did that.
Shorts, that's right.
I know, I was a wild woman who wore those
just
shorts.
Just crazy. I'm going to put a pair of shorts on. Oh, no, you're not.
That's right. Not in public.
All right.
Not in public. I think you're...
Yeah, right. And you just go dressed up like you're going out to the movies. It's like, what are you dressed up as?
You're not going to the movies. You're not wearing those shorts, and you better not have makeup.
But it's always fun. And I will say this too: if you have young kids, bring them out there. But go through Treat Street, and then then as it starts getting dark, some of the crazies come out. So then you may want to take them home.
Take the younger kids home, but your pets too, and that's I like watching that.
The
People
dogs
come out with your. I mean, ours are not social. Ours would just completely have a nervous breakdown.
We're not talking about our kids anymore, Kim. Let's talk about the pets.
Okay, but no, our pets would have a nervous breakdown. But people have some great pets, and there's that Great Dane that comes every year. I mean, so it's a great time. But
a lot of fun.
Enough about
Tomorrow night.
Don't
forget, 17, and then it'll replay 6,000 times.
6,000
during the month of November. All right, so we got a great show for you. We're going to get right into it because, again, we've got Dwight Richardson in the house. And
Linda Heisey?
Linda Heisey in the house. And I believe Ron...
He's not in the house yet, but he will be.
Ron Moore will be in the house shortly.
He will.
Let's take a commercial break and back with more of Tennessee Valley This Morning when we return. Stay tuned.
Town Americana, where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here, doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000. Don't look for Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
Are you having trouble filing for disability?
Seems no one is concerned about your pain, the waiting, the denials.
While some representatives will meet with you in court, we will meet with you now to discuss your plan. We'll review with you the same file that the judges will see. Call us now. Social Security Law Center at Logan Thompson.
You're entitled to better.
This segment of Tennessee Valley This Morning is brought to you by Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland and 2120 Chapman Road, Chattanooga. For your next new or previously owned vehicle, make it Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, the better way to buy. Welcome back to Tennessee Valley This Morning on this middle of the week Wednesday. Joe and Kim Palo again. Hope you're having yourself a good morning. We're now joined by Linda Heisey of Blood Assurance. And Linda is here to talk to us about blood assurance and, of course, ways that you can help give the gift of life, which is
That's right, and they do great work. So welcome this morning.
Thanks.
Thank you for getting
Yes,
up and
thank you so
coming
I
in.
appreciate you having me. You know, this is our favorite time of the year, Halloween.
Oh, that's
The
right. That's
vampires.
right. The vampire that
Right,
wants to
right.
suck your blood.
Drinking that blood,
That's
yeah.
right.
It's truly a good time for us. You know, we do enjoy it. If you go to give blood on Halloween, you'll actually see all of our folks all dressed up. They love it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Favorite holiday.
I'm sure.
now, and there's
because
something
it's just
special
fun.
that if you get for Halloween, if you give, you get a special.
Steal all the thunder,
I know.
don't you?
That's what he's got.
Absolutely.
He's got to look
Thunder
the prettiest,
stealer.
right?
If you donate on Halloween on the 31st, which is, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, right.
Yes, if you donate then, you get a special limited edition t-shirt. And it's so cute. I won't spoil it by telling you what it is, but it's kind of got a mummy look.
It's got a mummy look to it, and
Yeah.
so you can go to Blood Assurance tomorrow, and you can give blood anytime through the day. What time do you guys open?
We open at 8.
At 8 o'clock in the morning until closing
6
time
o'clock.
at 6 o'clock. And then you can put your t-shirt on,
And
come over to
go
the block
to the
party,
block party.
come get on TV, and show everybody your new shirt and how you donated blood.
Donated blood, exactly.
That's right. And
It's
then
the holiday for it.
it is the holiday for it. If you're going to donate on a holiday, do it on Halloween.
Well, now,
Bunch of blood.
That's right. They want your blood and they want your platelets.
That's absolutely.
yes, that
Tell
is
us
true.
about donating blood. Tell us, who can do it? Everybody can do it just about.
Just about everybody.
Just
You know,
about.
we ask that you don't defer yourself. You know, let us tell you whether or not you can give. But if you are 16 years of age with parental consent, you can give blood. If you're 17 without parental consent, you can give.
Mm-hmm.
So 17 forever until your doctor says you can't give anymore. Mm-hmm. And if you weigh 110 pounds, which
I got that.
I got that covered these days.
Joe may not. Are you?
I
Are you
got it.
110?
So, and be in pretty good health. You don't have to be star athlete or anything like that. But if you're not feeling good, if you're on antibiotics, we don't want you to give.
Right.
And if you're just having a kind of a sinusy day, don't give. Let's just wait till you feel better.
But now,
mostly
diabetics can give blood. We have a type 1.
Yes.
Our youngest son is a type 1 diabetic, was diagnosed when he was 9, and that's a misconception that's out there.
Is.
I mean, diabetes is in his blood. It's not
exactly.
And
to do as long as they're not on the bovine insulin,
right.
It's fine for diabetics to give blood, and we appreciate it. And it's some of the greatest things they can do to help.
Absolutely.
So, and they realize how important medicine is and technology and all. So just to know that they can help somebody.
Well,
it's a blood.
it's a giving back because it's giving back because so many of they have special need and things that they're always taking or needing.
Right.
I don't know how many restaurants we've been in that if we were waiting and then Matthew has a low and I'm like, can I get some crackers? Or do you have,
Exactly.
I need something, although it's really kind of when he's older. When he was younger, I had a whole purse of everything.
Right.
But
you were a good mother.
It was all that stuff to do. But so you can give blood, and who has the best blood?
Oh, well. I do.
Is it those O negatives? Is it those O negatives out there?
Actually, yeah. The O negatives are definitely we'll say that they are the special blood.
Right.
Because the fact that O negative goes into anybody. If you're in an emergency situation, they're not going to take the time to type your blood. They're going to give you O negative blood and get you stable and make sure that you're okay until they can figure out what your blood type is, which is an easy thing to do, but it does waste time in an emergency situation. So O negative is, everybody can use it, the universal blood type.
But they want it all. They want it all. They want it all. But do know that if you've got O negative, you're very, very special. And these people love you, and they want you to come see them. So that's it. And then what do we?
A question is what would you recommend before somebody? I know there's certain things like you don't eat this or you better not to eat that right before. What's some of the?
One of the things that's kind of different that people don't realize is that drinking iced tea, and we are in a
We've got our own specialty in this area, Cleveland's.
Right.
Iced tea will leach your iron just a little bit.
Okay.
So so if you think that you might be a little anemic or borderline between the times that you come to donate blood, don't drink that sweet tea or even unsweet tea. Just leave off the tea for a little bit.
No kidding. I would have never thought that. That
Absolutely.
might be why I'm a little weak.
And we always ask you to hydrate.
Yes.
So drink water, drink fluids, and healthy foods. If you tend to be a little bit on the anemic side, you might want to think about having a steak the night before you come.
Okay.
Well, there you go. Okay. There's your reason right there. There's your
Spinach
reason.
Or beets. Some of the things that help your iron level. Even raisins are good for your iron.
Okay.
So those are the kinds of things. We don't want you to obviously drink alcohol before or even afterwards. You have to think about that a little bit. We're taking out an entire pint of blood out of you, and if you're putting back a pint of alcohol,
woohoo! It's a party.
Right. That's a very expensive bag of blood.
So we don't recommend that.
Right.
Oh, but there you go. A lot quicker to the end zone there. There we go.
Well, okay. Let me ask you this because I know a lot of people may say, I don't know if I have the time. But it really doesn't take that long.
Oh, it doesn't take very long at all. I mean, it takes about 20, 30 minutes between the time that you come in and register and go through the little questionnaire and actually give your blood. Now, the needle is definitely not in your arm for 30 minutes.
Right.
It's not. It's just it's roughly, 6, 8, 10 minutes at the most. And, that's a small price to pay for saving 3 lives. And we just kind of try to encourage people to realize that. It may hurt you just a little bit when the needle goes in, but that's it.
Right. And it's just, how really, how bad?
Think about how the person's
how bad can that
hurting
really hurt?
that needs your blood.
Seriously, right.
Think about that.
But and we've had the tornadoes, the 2 separate
Absolutely.
seasons of those that have come through, and you just never know when that pile up that there has been on the interstate before, or if it's just going to be your kid that has a accident on their bicycle. You never know when that time's going to come that you're going to need
exactly
blood.
Right. Who's going to need it?
And who's going to need it?
And we talk about all the time that there's all these emergencies and critical times when people need blood, but there are people who need blood just for their medical treatment, like the cancer patient,
right?
Like the person who comes in for the open heart surgery and has to have a little bit of blood just to finalize the surgery. So those are things that are planned and expected, but yet on the other hand, they still have to have the blood.
Well, talking about that now, Linda, and I think we've talked about this before, but let's say you're going in for open heart surgery.
Correct.
You can go down and give blood in advance, kind of earmark it for yourself?
You can, but let's talk about that just a minute.
Okay, all right.
Because one of the things that we say, the best place for your blood when you're getting ready to go into surgery is in your body.
Right.
So let's leave it there. I can tell you with just 100% utmost sincerity and assurance that blood is safe at Blood Assurance, that you don't have to worry about getting anything, any diseases or anything wrong. That blood is perfectly matched to you, so don't hesitate to use the blood that comes in from the donors.
Those horror stories that you hear, just no, that doesn't. And we're not saying that there haven't been some instances in the past, but just like everything has evolved and everything has gotten, blood is so safe now that you're almost safer with somebody else's than your own.
And truly, if you're going in for surgery, why would you want to deplete yourself of a whole unit of blood? So now some people do feel like that they only want their blood, and that's fine, and we are happy to help with that. But truly, when you think about it, let's just keep what we've got in us and use the blood bank.
Right. Now, how long is because that's part of your struggle as an industry to do that, is that you can get a lot of blood, but it's not canned. It's not hadn't been through a cannery, and it's not going to be good on the shelf. How long is shelf? Right. I know we're putting up blood this weekend. We're going
to. No, seriously.
It's got a shelf life.
It does.
Folks. 42 days.
Okay, 42 days is all that a red cell can survive. So when it gets to that 40th day, it's time to make sure that we're either using it or we have to dispose of it, and we don't want to do that. So
not at all.
I can assure you that the majority of blood that comes in finds a home in somebody's body.
Well, now also though, there's different levels of blood donation. True. I mean, there's the blood itself, then there's the platelet part.
Good, Joe.
Plasma. I know.
Wow, you must.
I didn't go through 12 years of medical school for nothing, Linda. But no, so I guess there's the different. If you can go ahead and explain, I don't want to have to explain it. If you can.
I don't think I can talk.
He can't talk in layman's terms. He has a hard time with layman's terms.
Yeah, I use those words that are real
you
big.
And I'll talk about
That's right. It's slowly over here.
There is whole blood, exactly. There's whole blood, and that's when you come in and do just a regular blood donation, and that's called whole blood, and that's mostly what is red cells. Then we have Alex. Alex is a procedure where we take only the red cells out of your blood, and we take 2 of them. Okay. So that's for somebody who can't make it in every 56 days. Maybe they want to give as much as they can for the year, but they can't make it in every 56 days. So let's take 2 units now, and then at 112 days later, we'll take another 2 units from you. So that's a kind of a neat thing. We like O negatives to do that, obviously.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, and big burly men, they love to do that,
that's
like
right.
Joe. And then we have platelets. And platelet donation is where you're just giving the platelets out of your blood, and everything else is returned back into your body. So platelets are used a lot for cancer patients, burn victims, just a lot of different treatments like that. So trauma.
Right.
So it's important that we have both. Well, actually, that we have all those different types of products available. The hospitals appreciate it. I know the patients do.
Absolutely, absolutely. I always think that's just so, because you just don't think about it, and you should, but you just don't, because it's not one of those things, because, the tragedies are few and far between in a sense, but we don't think about just those everyday procedures that people go in, and the hospitals are full, the beds are full, guys, and surgeries are booked up, and so that's needed all the time in there, for those situations, as well as when there's a trauma or something in an emergency room that comes in that needs immediate attention.
Yes, and one of the things that we have to keep in mind also is that we have to test that blood. So if you donate it today, it's not ready today. It has to go through our lab and get tested and typed and go through all those procedures and then shipped to the hospital. So it is not ready on the same day that you donate. So if there's an emergency in a horrible situation that happens today, we've got to depend on what's already on the shelf.
Once you've got that bag, right.
Now, you talk about it having a shelf life. So people should come in, obviously, as often as they can, but how often can they come in?
they can come in every 56 days for a whole blood donation. It would be wonderful if we could get everybody to come in just one time a season. So think about it, quarterly. I'm going to give in the spring, summer, winter, and fall. That would be a wonderful, wonderful increase in blood donation.
Right, and make sure that I think that would be a good tradition to do is on Halloween. Halloween to be the day that you go and give the blood that, it's just one of those things that you're going to have a vein drain. There you go. There's all kinds of marketing stuff you could do with that.
There's so much fun with Halloween. Some people think it's spooky, but we love it because it just is, you want to make it into a pleasant experience for the donor. So what more fun than to just
everybody
make fun
dressing
of it
up
and
laughing. And then coming out, I can see, I would, all the Nurse Bettys and the crazy doctors.
There's and not giving them a plug, but I guess we are. There's that Geico commercial where they're doing the blood donation, and the vampire is there and excited that the guy had Lebanese food. But
that has been the greatest commercial. We love that.
I know. We like Wednesday because of that with the candle going around. What day is it? What day is it? And so we've gotten a lot of use out of the Geico.
Well, I know, of course, and I know folks can come to the office to give, but I know your blood mobile or the blood assurance.
We have mobiles that go around. Right. Yeah. So look for it at your anywhere that you see one. You can go in unless it's obviously a place that's a secured location.
Sure.
But yeah, our mobile will go around and come to your office. Just call us. We can get that set up for you. If you think you can get everybody in the office that wants to have a blood drive,
we see it out here at Cleveland State every once in a while.
They're great to us.
They'll have that, and then we see it. We have to pass Cleveland High School a lot to go, so they have those. But their office is right. Everybody passes it. It's right there on Keith Street. And it doesn't take any time at all.
Can I say something really good about kids?
You can.
We're talking about Halloween and how scary it is sometimes that the kids go out and they're out late and they're doing things they might not should be doing. But these kids at the high schools these days, they give so much blood.
They do.
Those kids give 16% of the blood that blood assurance collects. 16%. That's incredible.
No kidding.
They're starting off on a really good path, and I just appreciate them so much.
Absolutely.
Those kids are great. So anytime you want to say something bad about a kid,
that's
think
right.
They
give blood.
They
do give blood. Even if it is to get out of class, they give blood.
And a T-shirt.
That is absolutely right, because we've talked about it when we were kids. I was a kid. The kids weren't as giving back then as they are today. They weren't as friendly. They weren't as they didn't put up with as much. They didn't have as much temperance with people that weren't exactly like they are.
Right, the acceptance.
Where today it's just totally, which is a wonderful thing. But that's a good point too, that they give blood.
Just so proud of them. I am.
Well, give us your hours.
Sure.
Okay.
Phone number and website.
Look at the website. It's at bloodassurance.org. That's important, not .com, .org.
Okay.
Hours are from 8 to 6 every single day, except for Saturdays. That's from 9 to 1.
Okay.
And then we're closed on Sundays.
Okay.
So 756-0966 to make an appointment, or just walk on in.
Just walk on in. Just walk on in tomorrow, or absolutely.
And
get that
wear
T-shirt.
Your costume.
That's
too.
right. Wear your
Love
costume.
to see you guys come in costume.
Except for you young girls, don't you be wearing those
That's
costumes.
right. We'll tell.
So, that's right.
And also, like you said, they can do it on their lunch hour.
You can.
Virtually.
Mm-hmm. Sure,
right.
you can. And that's a great time to do it. But, right after work, or sometimes your boss will let you go.
That's right.
If you're going to give blood.
I'm going to go give blood, and I'd like to take a couple of hours.
But I mean, speaking of that, so when you go to give,
something to eat afterwards.
When you go to give, you give blood, and then you have to stay there for just a few minutes.
You do. You stay for just a little while. After you've given, you'll sit down and have a little snack.
Orange juice.
Something to drink, a Coca-Cola and a Little Debbie, and make yourself, make sure you're okay and you're good to go. We'll let you register for whatever prize we're giving away, and just a really, a restful time for them. I was talking to somebody just yesterday in the office, and they said, I just come because it's a nice restful time for me. I get to relax.
You get to relax for a bit. So there you go.
There's the plus.
There you go. That's right.
Really.
Let's all go to blood assurance and take a few.
Rest for a
Take
little
a
bit.
friend with you. I think that's a neat thing too, is to go with somebody.
Right.
So phone number again, Linda.
423-756-0966.
And they're open from 8 to 6. Monday through Friday, 9 to 1 on Saturday.
Very
closed
good.
on Sunday.
Yeah.
Telling you.
Good trip.
All right.
Just look for one of those blood mobiles out there. You're always welcome.
That's right. Pull in.
Linda, thank you so much
Thanks,
for being
guys.
with
You
us.
don't know how much it means to us to be able to come here.
We love to have you
tell
guys.
Jay, we'd rather have you here than Jay.
Well, let me tell you, we'd rather Jay be here
I
than
know.
in the office.
It's kind of like this. Who gets to win?
We're
We
kidding.
won
Who
today.
has to be with
No.
Jay?
We
We
are
love
kidding.
Jay.
We love Jay. We do love Jay. All right. Well, we're going to be back. We've got Dwight Richardson and Ron Moore to come when we return with more of Tennessee Valley This Morning, so stay tuned.
Town Americana, where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here, doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
Are you having trouble filing for disability?
Seems no one is concerned about your pain, the waiting, the denials.
While some representatives will meet with you in court, we will meet with you now to discuss your plan. We'll review with you the same file that the judges will see. Call us now. Social Security Law Center at Logan Thompson.
You're entitled to better.
This segment of Tennessee Valley This Morning is brought to you by Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland and 2120 Chapman Road, Chattanooga. For your next new or previously owned vehicle, make it Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, the better way to buy. Welcome back to Tennessee Valley This Morning on WTMB. Joe Palo, Kim Palo, and our good friend Dwight Richardson.
Hey, Dwight's just brought us
Fenimore's Florida's
down.
No, he did. He just brought up a subject we don't like to talk about. But yeah, so Dwight is here to talk about Fenimore's. Of course, you know, we got the new season coming up. We got fall, and we're going to move into the holiday season. But a couple of things.
I mean, fall has been a long time coming this time, hasn't it? I mean, it's
it's here all of a sudden, and it's about gone.
I know, we're all dying. Everybody's all stopped up and pitiful.
Fall is sprung at Fenimore's. We've got plenty of things to choose from, and I'm going to be packing it up in the next few weeks. I mean, next few days, really, because I've got to get Christmas out. I'm the only one I don't think.
I know. I mean, it's right. It used to be that it was Thanksgiving that made the turn, but now it's Halloween. You will see Christmas stuff out with Halloween stuff.
I hate that. I hate pumpkins right beside a Christmas tree, but I mean,
got to do what a man's got to do, don't you? I mean, it's what the public wants.
That's exactly right. And so this coming Saturday, which I think is November the 2nd,
right.
The shops in there at Market Center where I'm at, we're all going to be open from 1 to 3. Going to have a little open house. It's not my Christmas open house, but it will be open.
Okay.
I think Fresh and Low is going to grill some stuff, and there's going to be some bouncy toys. And,
beautiful.
There's a photography studio out there now. Edward Jones, Fenimore's, and I almost said Blue Cross, Red Cross took my spot. That's going to be their new command post, so they will also be open. So it'll be a good time for kids and to bring those out from 1 to 3 this coming Saturday.
Okay, everybody head over
Be a
to
fun time.
Fenimore's. It's right
Be a
there
fun time.
on, what
Hall
is
Huff
that?
and
Hall
Georgetown
Huff and
Road.
Georgetown
Yeah.
Road. Right
And I've
on
moved
the-
across the parking lot where Davino's Pizza
Oh,
used to
did
be.
you? Really? I didn't know that.
Oh, I like it a lot better.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, we'll
It's
have to come over and
open.
see. You
It's
know, I
open.
always, I loved Davino's too,
Yeah.
but I always forgot about that little thing. So we'll have to come over
Yeah,
and see your
it's
new
worked
place.
out very
I'd like to
well.
see
I've
that.
told Joe last time I may as well move 500 miles because it was all the
I
same
know, you
difference.
still had to pack it
I
all
still
up
had
and
to
unpack
pack it all up and move 150 miles across the parking lot.
I
it seemed
know.
like, so. Anyway,
Do that again.
I'm there, and I've still got a few boxes around, but I am there, so
It's there.
it's great.
So, all right, so your hours of operation, because folks that may want to stop by may not know.
Yes,
exactly.
they are. I'm open from 9 to 5 daily and a half a day on Saturday.
Okay.
And if you've got funeral work and it's just an emergency that's got to be taken care of, if I'm in town, call the studio. I'll take care of it.
Okay.
It's not a problem.
And you do
I worked
great
last
work.
Sunday.
You worked last Sunday. But, I mean, Dwight does really, really good stuff. I mean, you have a contemporary flair to it and just some beautiful
Yeah.
stuff that
Thank
you
you.
do.
Thank
and
you.
very talented. You
People
can
want
always-
different, and that's what I
Yes.
try to give them.
And I think that, and too, when you are at a service or somewhere, you can always
Yeah.
point. I can always tell what's
Okay,
yours, and
thank
so
you,
that you
thank
have
you.
a great signature.
I'm
about
glad that's a good thing. You still say, oh.
I know.
Oh, Fenimore did that.
Dwight's got stuff here. Oh,
I'm glad
dear.
you feel
I
it.
know. But no, I always, it's going to be the prettiest piece there and the best piece in.
Well, you do have your
a-
signature stuff. You have your little, like an artist maybe does their little thing in
Yeah.
the corner. You put your little signature
Yeah.
thing that does make it your
Yeah,
own.
there's a couple things I pretty much put in every piece I have, and I like lily grass, and I like all this airy stuff, and I like that, so I try to.
He does good work. You'd be well if you want to send your wife a beautiful arrangement. He knows
Right.
how to get you out of
Yeah,
the
no,
doghouse.
I can take
with
care
no
of it.
He can get you out of the doghouse.
Anniversary,
Right.
That's right.
birthdays,
He
yeah.
can take.
That's
He can
right.
make an anniversary.
I had a guy come in Saturday. He said, me and my wife having some kind of problem. He said, have you got a couple of roses I can take with you? And I said, yeah, let me fix it up
Let
real
me
quick.
fix it right.
So he said, how much is it going to be? I told him, and so we wrapped it up, and he whistled as he went out the door. I said, I hope that does exactly what you
I
want
know, I
it
hope
to.
that fixes
Good
it.
luck.
Just don't open your mouth.
That's right.
Just
Just
he
hand 'em out there and
just
say, I love you.
yes.
That's
She's
all you
mad
have.
and she's like, my wife, it's a waste of money.
No, it's not. It's not a waste of money. It's that you won't shut up if
Let
you
me
would
explain
just not
something,
talk.
Dwight. I used to, when we were dating, okay, I was one of those guys that
Drove me crazy.
every week I would give her a dozen roses. Every week.
Every week.
Every week.
It just got old. There was no special.
It got old to
It
where,
was not
first of all,
special.
let me explain. So it got to where I would give her the dozen roses. Then it got to where, and it was all nice. And it got to where, these are nice, but you know what I like? I like them in the box.
Well,
I don't
I
like
had all
them with
these
it.
faces.
So then I started doing them in the box.
You could have started your own flowers, probably.
I had all these
Then it
faces,
was like,
and
it
then
was the
if I
box
threw
and
them
it was
away-
thrown over here. And I was like, so then she said to me one day, we were having this little discussion, and she said, and this is again, I don't think we were married yet. We were married for 35 years. But she said, you give them to me all the time, Joe, okay? It's not like, and I'm like, what? I thought you liked flowers. I thought all of I mean, it's just, yeah, they're nice, but enough. And I looked and I thought, it'll be a cold day, and you know what, before you'll get some more flowers
I
from
don't
me.
get flowers.
I don't think I've gotten her flowers since.
I know. So
I
go
could
see
understand.
Dwight. Go
I
see
could
Dwight and get me flowers. I know.
That wouldn't get me out of the trouble now.
Yes, it would.
Would it?
Yes, it's been a long time.
I don't even care to get out of trouble now, so heck with it. I'm in trouble. But no, I mean, but flowers are and it's
I
not
love
just.
to get flowers.
Yes,
Now,
and
I
it's,
was a child. I was 17 years old, and enough was enough
Yeah,
was enough.
yeah.
I didn't know that one day I would be begging
That you'd be
for
begging,
them.
that's right.
well,
I
that's
had no
what
idea.
happens, see?
It's the most fun thing in the world to go up to a house, to open the door, and you don't know these people or anything, and you've got flowers that, for whatever reason they're getting, and this lady opens the door. I'm telling you, they just absolutely just go into another orbit.
Isn't that wild?
It is.
It is so neat to just watch their face when they get these flowers.
It is.
Now I've had one or two that were really ugly and really not nice.
Really?
But that's not very. That's a
That's
small
not-
But for
percentage.
what? Like they were still mad or something?
Well, I had one lady when I called her, because I always try to call before I go.
Right.
She said, "Is this flowers?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "I don't want them." Well, she didn't even know who they were from or anything. I said, "What do you mean you don't want them?" She said, "Don't bring me any kind of flowers."
Wow.
And she was just as ugly as she could be. And I said, ma'am, I've got them made. The people pay for them. I'm going to bring them. And I said, if you're not there, I'm going to put them on the doorstep. So I don't remember now if I put them on the doorstep, she was there. I don't really remember all that conversation, how it went. She was really ugly. If she's listed, I don't know who it was.
Right.
I can't even remember who it was. But, that's rare. But typically, they just are so excited to get a flower.
Anytime you're at the workplace,
let me tell you this story. I cry every time I think about this thing about it. Avalon Hospice has started coming by, and I have to throw a lot of flowers away, and they want what I'm going to throw away, they want, because their patients do not get flowers very often. They're kind of forgotten, some of them. Well, I thought that's kind of a cute little thing to do. I'll be glad to do it, because, I'm just going to throw them away. If somebody can use them, fine. So about 3 or 4 weeks we've been doing this. Last week, I wasn't there when the lady come by, and the lady that come to get them, she said, she told the girl there, she said, let me tell you, she said, the flowers we took last week, she said, we took those to a lady. She cried and she cried and she cried because she had got these flowers. She died the next day.
Oh, wow.
And I just, if those flowers help somebody, I'm going to throw them away because I can't resell them. And they're pretty decent flowers. They maybe turn a little brown or, foliage or something.
Perky as they
but
once were.
they love them because they don't get any attention, and gosh, I'm happy to
help them. So there you guys go. If you want a reason to send flowers and can't think about it, hospice is a great place to start, and Dwight will
These
take
nursing
care of
homes, hospice, Garden Plaza, all these places.
Absolutely.
Bradley, they people.
Isn't that wild,
anything.
though, that just flowers could just brighten somebody's day?
They do. How many times have you been in the workplace and somebody gets flowers? The whole place is everybody's talking about it. Everybody's wanting to go see it.
Everybody just lights up.
And so they do. But you have a lot of other things besides flowers. You do have a lot of,
I do have some gifts.
Seasonal, and you have gifts, and you have a lot of gifts for men that you have had an area before, because that's a hard thing to do.
It is very hard to do.
Men are hard to shop for.
You don't send flowers to men very often, so I try to do plants or I've got little things that I put together that are kind of manly, fish and hunting and that kind of stuff. So it's worked out really well.
It's nice
and
for
they
a man
appreciate
to get
it.
fun.
Yeah.
But real quick, because we only got a few minutes left, let's talk about the Night of Mystery.
Yes, an evening of Cleveland Mystery and Folklore. Yes. That is tonight. Will be the last night of this event. Starts at 6 o'clock and goes to 8:30.
Okay.
It's at the Bank of Cleveland downtown. Tickets will be $10, $5 for students, and that's any student, leave, all the way down. And we can only take about 200 people per night because it gets to be quite a long tour. Be 5 stories, Bloodstains on the Mausoleum by Deborah Nairn. She's in the Cleveland Storytelling Guild. The Stamper Ghost is a real popular thing. It's Connie Gatlin will be telling that story. Have you ever, Connie Gatlin?
I do know.
Yes.
She's very animated and very good storyteller.
And that's a true story, by the way.
Yes, it is a true story. The Lights of the Presbyterian Church is another true story. Pete Vanderpool will be telling that.
Okay.
And I think I told this last time that I was here, maybe. In the last 2 years, in the offering plate at the First Presbyterian Church, a Confederate note has appeared in the offering plate, and they verified that it was an original Confederate note. They don't know how it got there, who put it in there, but see, this is a true folklore about a Civil War soldier that is lingering around the Presbyterian Church trying to find his arm that was severed during the war.
And when we say folklore, we mean F-O-K-E-lore.
And Pastor Tanner has seen this light at the window. And there's been couple of people in the church that have seen this light. So it's a very good story.
No kidding.
The Enchanted Guitar is a good story about an old man that passed away, and the family kept hearing his guitar, and they couldn't find the guitar. It had disappeared, but they kept hearing the guitar that the old man played. Uncle Ike's Cold Walk is another true story about Doc Cawhorn that was a physician here in Cleveland. That's a good folklore story. That'll be told by Judy Baker.
Yeah, she tells a lot of stuff.
Maureen Olin, is the one that's telling the Enchanted Guitar. But
Didn't you used to tell a story?
No.
Or are you just a guide?
I'm just a guide and got it.
Not just a guide. He's the guide that you want.
These guys do such a great job telling these stories. I mean, they're so animated. Every one of them, they just do a great job. this is a rain or shine event. If it rains, which is not supposed to, I don't think, we will all be inside the bank, so you don't have to not show up. It'll be great. All the money raised for this goes to Allied Arts of the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
They provide arts and education for all the little children out there.
Yes, they do.
So we've
Gotta
given
take care of our children.
close to $300,000 in grant money for arts and
Nancy
education
Cason's
since it
big with
started.
that.
Yeah.
Wow, great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
It's a good event and a good money, and I promise you'll have fun.
know.
It's not a haunted house. Nobody's gonna jump out and stab you and scare you. It's just a history mystery event. We're trying to work it out where we can go into the old jail. If you've never been down in the old jail, there are still cells down in that jail that nobody goes to anymore. And also, one of the stories be told in the basement of the bank. If you've never been in the basement of that bank, it's spooky enough down there.
Right.
And everything's done by candlelight, and the floors squeak and everything on the third floor. That's where we'll be. It's a great event. I hope you'll all come.
Now, the other day, and I don't know if you have it with you,
Yes, I
but
do.
you have the poem.
It's a little song
Little song. It's a little song
about Neil and Nina Craigmile.
And we're gonna go out with this because I know we've got just a few seconds left, but we're gonna go to commercial right after this, and we're gonna come back with Ron Moore. We want to thank Dwight from Fenimore's Floral Design. So listen to this. Here we go.
Oh, I'm getting a call.
Wait,
I'm sorry. Hold on.
This will be his wife,
Hold on.
Rhonda. Listen to this conversation.
I'm so sorry. Hold on.
Yes, I'll pick up bread.
I didn't know that would do that. I'm sorry. Let's try it.
With her handsome grandpa sitting by her side. But the train was deadly and her body thrown. Now this mausoleum is her home.
Good.
That gave me the chills again. I heard it.
know.
That's about
Everybody
4:50.
go out tonight.
All right, folks. Don't forget, tonight's the last night, evening of mystery and folklore. Cleveland Mystery and Folklore, and that's at the
Bank of Cleveland
Bank
downtown.
of Cleveland, 6 o'clock.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Dwight.
you.
Thank you for being with us, buddy.
We just love
Thank
for you
you.
to come.
All right, we're going to be back. We got Ron Moore in the house, which is another mysterious kind of a guy with his own little song, but we'll hear that coming up when we return with Tennessee Valley this morning after this.
Town Americana, where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here, doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000 bucks. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
Are you having trouble filing for disability?
Seems no one is concerned about your pain, the waiting, the denials.
While some representatives will meet with you in court, we will meet with you now to discuss your plan. We'll review with you the same file that the judges will see. Call us now. Social Security Law Center at Logan Thompson.
You're entitled to better.
This segment of Tennessee Valley This Morning is brought to you by Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland and 2120 Chapman Road, Chattanooga. For your next new or previously owned vehicle, make it Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, the better way to buy. Welcome back to Tennessee Valley This Morning. I almost sung that. Welcome back to Tennessee Valley This Morning on WTMB. Ron Moore is with us. And, buddy, thank you for being with us again on this Wednesday.
Enjoy it.
Now, what is our time? I'm guessing it's something spooky or scary or something?
No.
Okay.
It's
We're
more,
done with that.
It's more political.
All right.
You know,
well, that's spooky and scary in itself.
In 1880s to about 1892, Cleveland had growing pains.
Okay.
And, you know, we weren't like a lot of other towns. We still had that small town about us, and so our four number one problems during that decade, that the way the county commission was, 4-letter word offenders,
Okay.
dogs, hogs, and cows.
Okay, dogs, hogs, and cows.
That was our biggest problems we had that way. And so the first thing we did, we passed a muzzle law for our dogs. Unfortunately, people weren't putting them on tight enough, and people were still getting bit. So they ordered the marshal to carry a loaded shotgun at all time and to shoot the aggressive or rabid dogs. The city council later refused to pay him, though, because he charged them $2.75 to haul off all 11 of the dead dog bodies, but they said, no, they're not paying it.
Oh, dear.
So I don't know if he's shot anymore or not.
I don't reckon.
And then the other big one coming up was in '84. They passed an ordinance to requiring all hogs to be enclosed. Before then, the hogs could run wild. And if you have any idea of what hogs running wild up and down the main streets of Cleveland could create on a hot day, it could be, you can see where we were having growing pains.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And so, so the banner said they thought this was a good idea and it should be a much better place now. So the marshal had a great idea. He would go and pay these boys 25-cent bounty on any wild hog or unleashed hog or enclosed hog.
Free-range hog.
Free-range hog
right.
running around in town. And they started finding them and bringing them up, and that was a pretty good deal and everything. And so then it was discovered that the boys sometimes found the hogs that were not necessarily running wild when they got there, but after they opened the gates,
Right.
the hogs were running wild and they were making a very profitable thing. So that city ordinance got changed also.
Sure.
That were repealed and they got a new one coming along. And then in 1892, the new ordinance was passed which prohibited free roaming cattle on the city streets between November and April.
Oh,
The rest of the time is okay,
it's all right.
but between November and April. And so this was some controversy there, particularly to Mr. Wembley. Mr. Wembley's was arrested because his cow was, and they seized his cow. Oh no! So he took suit against the city of Cleveland, and so.
Did he win?
Well, Squire Harrell said that he had some concern that the ordinance was improperly enacted. Not necessarily that it was the law was, but they didn't enact it correctly. So Mr. Wembley's cow was returned, and which put all city ordinances in the city of Cleveland at jeopardy because they had passed them all the same way. So there's a lot of big controversy there, and so. And they started repassing the ordinances. And now, I said earlier that one of the other big problems was the 4-letter word offenders.
Yes.
Right.
It could have been a lot of the politicians that they were talking about because they were more like our today's Congress. They didn't enact anything.
Right.
They just, so there was never ever other mention of the 4-letter word offenders. Like stop, don't quit.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
I think that was the word. So.
Yeah, I think so.
But I just think it's interesting that that our concern was, and also during this time, there was an election, and people didn't like who won. So basically, they just dissolved the city for about 2 years. We just said we don't want to be a city anymore. We sent our charter back to the state of Tennessee and said we've had it. We ain't going to do it.
Can't nobody
so
get along.
Also,
Wow.
so the city of Cleveland dissolved back into just Bradley County. And then a couple of years later, they made an attempt and they brought it back. So we actually, and the banner was very nice and ran a nice obituary for the city of Cleveland.
did they?
Yes, so.
That would have
See?
been clever.
And I think that when we became a city again, is that when Mayor Tom was elected?
Yes,
That's right.
that's right. That was 1896.
Yeah,
I believe it was.
exactly. And of course, you know.
And there's a lot of stories like that. And then, of course, I wanted to mention that the museum here in Cleveland, at Museum Center at 5 Point, they've got a new exhibit called Building Cleveland Up, and they talk about a lot of the history of the early days there, and you've got some exhibits, and they show pictures of the Cherokee Hotel being built. First time I ever seen a picture of it being a shell. They talk about the old Princess Theater and the Bohemia and Monica, I call it that, but it's Montea. It's where the Bank of Cleveland was. That was the old movie theater there.
Okay, right.
And so pretty interesting to see all those things. And they have items from the Ganaway's department store down there. It used to make saddles, and they have one of the big old big stitching machines in there. So if you haven't been to the museum lately, it's a great place to go down.
Yeah, they did. They just started that exhibit, I think, last week.
Last Thursday was the members visit, and then after that they had the public. It's $5 to get in to see it, and you see the rest of the
But that's a
museum
real,
also.
and I mean, the museum's just a great
Yes.
journey anyway. I mean, it's a great thing. I think that's one of the best things that Cleveland has done, and
Right.
Well,
especially for our culture.
Let's also talk about the new video that you're working on about dirt tracks.
Right, yes.
That's going to be, I know you're working on it.
It's April 14th, it's April 2014
Okay.
is the release date on it. We've got some conjunction with the museum. We have some race cars going to be there, some different
that'll
things.
be beautiful.
So, and we've talked to people at Talladega. We talked to Red Farmer, one of the legendary dirt track and NASCAR racers, and Morgan Shepherd. And we've talked to Charlie Mincy, who was raced at Lakewood the very first time they had a NASCAR race.
Wow.
We've interviewed that people. Then we interviewed some of our local people around town. One of my favorite stories is a guy who had $1.47 in his first race car. And he didn't win a lot, but he had a lot of fun. He had to buy a spring for the carburetor. Someone gave him an old car,
47.
and someone gave him the pipe to bend over there, and him and his friends welded, painted on it, and it looked really good, but the carburetor spring was gone, so that cost him 47 cents, and he put 4 gallons of gas at 25 cents a gallon in there, and that was his first race car at $1.47.
Wow.
But it went up from there.
It has gone up, and that's one of the problems with dirt track racing is the cost has gone up to the racers. The cost has gone up to the fans, and the small hometown dirt track things are going away fast all over the South. We understand in Northwest Georgia that the people who have been leasing the track will not renew their lease this year, so will they be racing there in North Georgia? And they're just lined from, we go all the way from Gatlinburg all the way to Dawsonville, Georgia. And they're just those little small dirt tracks. There used to be one at the Lake Winnipesaukee, down on the flat, on the back end where the trains run. There was a dirt track there. At Moxican Bend, there was a dirt track there. There's one at Alton Park. So there's racetracks all around. One in Athens. And of course, there's things like Atomic and
it's a
Smoky
part of our
Mountain.
history we don't want to lose out because
Right.
that is.
Or at
and
least
it's-
document it because it is
Yeah,
going
this is-
away
this-
of
yeah.
the
Well,
whatever.
And it's not even so much the price or the purse that they win because there's not a lot of money won. It's just the bragging rights and the fact that they did do well.
Most people we talk to hasn't won a lot of money doing
Yeah.
dirt track
Right,
racing.
no.
Some it's changed a lot now. There are a lot of big sponsors. If you even go to NASCAR, to win there, it takes big money and the horsepower. And talking to some of the NASCAR drivers who didn't have the sponsors or the big money, particularly in the truck races, they say, if that's why they like dirt. They said because it's what between the steering wheel and the back of the seat that makes a difference there. It's not how much horsepower. So you really have to race your car there. And so, great stories, funny stories. There's some sad stories. A lot of great old photos and pictures of the racers
And this is April of 2014.
April
2014.
Real quick,
but
what do you
catch
got
them on Saturday
What do you got
morning.
coming up this week? What's your topic? Oh,
We're talking about downtown Cleveland, the 60s coming up
Okay.
around through there. Able Hardware and Ganaways and some of the Draper and Darwin's, and just anything around the square there. I bought my first Pee Wee Herman bicycle at Able Hardware.
There you
too,
go.
I remember Able.
And so that is
99.9.
Saturday from 10 to noon, 99.9 Whoop Radio, Old Town Cleveland. Ron and Debbie Moore. Ron, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
We want to thank Linda Heisey and Dwight Richardson as well. Have yourself a good week. We'll see you next time on Tennessee.